If I could go back in time and be there with myself during one of my PTSD eras, where either I was just diagnosed with it or the trauma just happened and it was all fresh. Now, those beginning days, you just feel destroyed. You feel blank, bleak. The future's hopeless. You're in pain. You're in misery. You just had your senses assaulted. You have this memory that's so compressed with all of this data. It doesn't know where to get stored and it's just stuck in there and you don't want to look at, but you can't escape it. And life has been altered and you don't know where to go and what to do. If I was there with myself right now, I would first do this. I would get the emotions out. I would encourage myself to either get angry, to get mad, get sad, whatever that feeling is, whatever that emotion is, and find a way to take it out in a safe manner. And it's scary to step into crying because as men, we might have gone years without having that good, deep cry. And it's scary. It's scary. It's like, I may never turn it off. But once you open up and you just let all that crying and sadness out, you feel refreshed and you feel just drained and you're just like, oh, and a little numb. But you get it out because the longer you keep it in there, the longer it's going to build up. And that's not healthy. Same with anger. I would sit there and be like, okay, I know you're mad. It is okay to be mad. I would validate my emotions. I would let me know that anybody going through this, it would be absolutely fine to feel this way. And then I would get myself a sledgehammer and a tire. Yet again, I would say, beat the crap out of this thing. Get as mad as you want. Put any faces on there and just beat it up. And then that anger gets released in a very healthy way where you don't say things to people you don't need to say or potentially make a situation worse. And at the end of it, you're drained, you're exhausted, you may feel numb again, but you've found that outlet to get that anger out because we're like cavemen in this society where it's like, we're going to poke you and poke you and poke you. And you better not lash out or show your anger, or we're going to label you as this person with all these anger issues and you're scary. When this is reality, people get mad. And especially if you're a veteran, oh my goodness, you show anger. Oh, he's got PTSD. He's going to go crazy. No, not the case. We're a lot more controlled than civilians think, but civilians like to paint a veteran with this big, scary brush. It's like, we're way more disciplined than you know. So then I would say, hey, I need you to start journaling every night. I would encourage myself to get a little notebook, a pen and paper, whatever it is. And every night just start writing something. Just be like, hey, this sucked today. This is miserable. And in doing so, I'd encourage myself to validate my emotions on paper. Say, hey, it's okay to be mad. It's okay to be mad. Or sad. I said it twice. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be frustrated. And validate it. And you're seeing it written out. And it does something in your mind with your memories where it's set apart a little more. It's like you're taking this story and you're putting it on paper. And then you're seeing it out there in the world. And you're like, oh man, yeah. It's almost like reflected back to you. So journaling is a very healthy thing I would tell myself to do. Like, hey, write it out at night. Because once you get through this, you'll be able to look back through this really difficult time and look at your highs and lows. And you can really congratulate yourself in a way of like, hey, I didn't remember this detail, but man, I'm going to be able to help somebody else now that I remember this detail. And even if you never show anybody later, um, I have went back through my notebooks and I've read stuff and it was very healthy to do that. And I can look back at that version of myself of where I am now and be really grateful. The next thing I would tell myself to do is look in the mirror every day and say, I love you. Or if I'm upset, say it's okay to be upset in the mirror. Or mad, say it's okay to be mad in the mirror. And the validating emotions is going to be an ongoing thing. I would encourage myself always to validate my emotions. That becomes this internal dialogue where you don't need external validation because you validate yourself. And it's a very powerful dynamic that changes inside of it when you no longer seeking external validation, but inside you're like, oh, I have labeled this feeling and it is okay to feel this way. But I would continue to encourage myself to say, I love you in the mirror and keep doing that consistently. And then I would be like, hey, all right, now we need to make out your list every day of what you need to do for self care, what you need to do to maintain this body. You're eating, you're showering, taking care of fingernails, Q-tip in your ears, all the things, self care, because in the thick of it, the world is just this dark cloud and this storm just hit and you're lost. You don't care. I didn't care about the small details of self care, but these become habits that will be presented in the next season, as in you're programming yourself how to take care of yourself. So if you start the habit of not doing something for a long time, you'll just continue that habit. But if you start the habit of being disciplined in your self care during a difficult, trying situation, when the next difficult, trying situation comes up, you're automatically going to be like, oh, this is the way I operate because I programmed myself to be disciplined in my self care. Now, look at this. What if you're a dad going through divorce court and your heart's been ripped out, your life has been taken away, and you're just lost? Well, what if you show up to court looking just rough and disheveled, and the other party's like, see, he can't even take care of himself. He's so depressed. And the judge doesn't care what you're going through. They just care in that moment what you look like. Do you look put together? Do you present yourself well? Are you well spoken? Or are you like fidgety, getting mad, and like just half shaven and clothes wrinkly? And the judge is going to take that into consideration because the judge doesn't care what else is going on in your life. He only sees you for that brief moment. So being able to present yourself in a very difficult situation is a very crucial skill in my opinion. Then I tell myself, listen, when you look in the mirror, you're going to be able to see a reflection that you like. Because if you're depressed and you see this frumpy figure that looks like crap, clothes are wrinkled, hair's all grown out and messy, that's going to make you feel worse about yourself. You're like, man, I can't even keep my hair straight, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so self-care is super important in those days of when it first hits. And the next thing I'm looking at the time somewhere. Where is it? Got it. So the next thing I would do is be like, listen, on this task list of self-care, what are things around your living quarters, your house, apartment, whatever it is, that need to be done every day, bi-weekly or bi-monthly? Write it out. Okay, check the mail, take the trash out, wash the dishes, vacuum the carpet, sweep the floor, swiffer the floor, make bed, do laundry, fold the laundry, put the laundry away, mow the grass, pay bills. Write all of this out and then post it where you can see it. And so I'd be like, listen, you already have enough on your mind. You have a big battle you're about to go in and do this inner work. But here is a way to navigate your external world and keep it solid. And again, when your external world goes to crap while your internal world goes to crap, it makes it that much worse because you'll see this pile of stuff, and you'll start avoiding. Like, nope, I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to avoid it versus I'm going to step in. I'm going to do this task. But you need a little bit of help. You need to plan it out. And I would be like, hey, listen, if you don't have this planned out and write it out, it's easier not to do it. And at night, when you've done these things, you go through and you check the list off and you feel good about it. But then you keep doing it and keep doing it because these waves of emotions during the first couple of weeks of an event like this are heavy and they can weigh you down. You don't even feel like getting out of bed. And so when you have your like personal accountability to get this stuff done, you have a far better chance of making it through without things collapsing even worse because we start forgetting and ignoring the outside world. Then the memories of it. I would be like, hey, listen, there is great inner work that you can do. There is a great way to deal with this and process this memory. Because if this memory is not processed properly, your wounded identity is going to be stuck with it. And you're going to have these triggers attached to it, where it could be a name, a situation, a subject, or a smell. There's a million different things that literally have an energetic tether that goes to that memory. And you will charge it up and fire that memory up. And then it gets put on the player in your mind. And you don't have to, I'd be like, but listen, there's this really good inner work that you can do, and it will disconnect all those energetic tethers. And it gets to the point where you won't be triggered by the subject matters within that memory. And it's a way to free up your inner world and be focused on the here and now. Because when we go through tragedies and traumas, the thing about this world, some people cause that stuff on purpose, and then they purposely trigger us to get us to crash out so they can sit back and just watch the mayhem. There is evil in this world, but we have to know how to organize our memories, keep our external world organized, and keep our body taken care of, because this is the vessel we're in, and we are programming ourselves on how we carry ourselves and conduct ourselves in a trial, or not a trials in court, but a tribulation in life, I would say. So those are the first things that I would do, and how I would sit down and talk to myself if these were the first days after a trauma or a tragedy and I was dealing with what looks like could turn into PTSD. Anyway, I hope that helps. Roadhouse, good times. Spiritual Hard. I messed that all up. My endings. Hey, like and subscribe if you like this, or you want more content like this. Anyway, tried.